the devil, but he lures us away by our own desires, and he entices us. So he knows how to do that very, very well. Now, one last thing I want to bring up is about sin. Continuing in sin. This is what it says in 1 John chapter 5, verses 16 and 17. I want you to really note this carefully. If anyone sees his brother committing a sin not leading to death, he shall ask, and God will give him life. To those who commit sins that do not lead to death. There is sin that leads to death. I do not say that one should pray for that. All wrongdoing is sin. But there is sin that does not lead to death. I wrestled with that issue about sin unto death and sin not leading unto death for many, many years. And I heard different things about it, but this is what I've come to believe about that. It says very clearly right there, all wrongdoing is sin. There is sin that does not lead to death. And when one sees a brother or a sister committing that sin, he can pray for that person. And Galatians chapter 6 says he can go to that person and help that person so that they wouldn't continue practicing that sin. But the person that is the spiritual person now, in this case, going to the one who is weaker, he needs to be very, very careful that he himself doesn't fall into temptation by the same thing that his brother or sister is doing. And so we think about there is sin not leading unto death, and we can pray for that. But sin that leads to death would be constantly practicing sin, practicing and not dealing with it. We're called to repentance. And when we think about what Jesus has come to do for us, he is victorious over the works of the devil, and in him is no sin. And so him being the sinless one wants to help us to practice righteousness and sin less in our life. Continuously keep practicing righteousness, going through to maturity, having victory in our life over sin. And so that's where practicing righteousness is very important. We need to learn to discern between good and evil, right and wrong, by continuously practicing and discerning the things in our own senses, through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, through our mouth, through our touch, all of the things that come into play. We practice and learn to discern with the wisdom of God to tell the difference between good and evil. What's coming from God and what's of the devil. What is from my own sin nature and what comes from the Spirit. That's why Jesus said the Spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And so I hope that that helps you, as it has helped me over the years, to understand the importance, absolute importance, of learning to walk in the Spirit, being filled with the Spirit, of course, continuing in the Spirit, so that we can grow in our relationship with Jesus unto maturity. And that is my prayer for each one of us, that we would all learn what God is saying to us in His Word. Abide in my Word, and let my Word abide in you. Abide in Jesus, and let His life live out through you and through me. That is the key to having victory and pursuing righteousness and overcoming the wiles of the devil, as Ephesians chapter 6 clearly tells us about. Okay? Well, I hope that that helped you, as it has helped me. And I just say, God bless you. I'll be praying for you. And I pray for His rich blessing on your life in everything and in all days of your life. Have a very good day.